whenever I get the opportunity to work on a project, the first thing I ask myself is this: do I feel connected to the result of this project? Right? Now, if I answer myself, yes, I feel connected, in line with what I believe that the reason why God has created me in such a time like this, the reason why I'm existing, the reason why I feel this amount of skill and talent, right? Once I feel a sense of connection, the next thing I also want to talk about is how much can I bring to these projects?
Good day, my friends, our brothers, our sisters, in-laws, and outlaws. Tonight we have with us a great Nigerian doing awesome work, creating great content for Africa, for Nigeria, and for the world. He's been doing this for quite a while, and his passion is always to create a positive change in Africa, in Nigeria, in West Africa, and in the world at large. Today we have with us Onye Ubanatu of My Passion, My Life. Welcome tonight.
Oh my God, I can hear the applause in my ear.
Oh my God. That's quite interesting.
Nice, good.
Yeah, so co-hosting tonight is Babawale Obayonju, and we are glad to have Onye with us right here at Kenoni Studios in Benin City. So today we're going to be talking about your processes, what you engage in to create those awesome content you have outside, from the NFF award event to Worry Again, to a Bariga drama, to Married for 56 years. The list goes on and on and on. So we really like what you're doing. I want to find out, because some people feel Onye is a mini god. He presses one button and things change. So getting to start the show today, I want to tell us a little bit about your journey to My Passion, My Life. What were the things that drew you to My Passion, My Life?
Great. First, I want to say a big thank you for having me. It took quite a while from, the DM that said, so watch this video. And then I watched the video, I was like, I know what's coming next. And then a few minutes, we would like to have yours. And I saw that coming. I must say that it's such a great honor for me to be here and doing this, and most especially in a city that I think part of my story, or I would say part of my growing success, could, should, and will be attributed to the fact that Benin City played a major role in shaping, my journey in content creation, media, consulting, and things like that. And I'll say big thanks to Iwo TV. Back then, I used to see the entire Archbishop Benson Idahosa and the entire Obi Van and the team, on a convoy. And I'll be like, one day, man, I will do this thing, So being here right now on the same soil in Benin is such a great honor, so thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Your question, how
my journey,
how I got myself, into this entanglement that cannot be separated
at all.
I would say that I started out in Worry. I was born, bred, and raised in Worry, and my, back then it was Bender Broadcasting Service. Then Bender State. For all you 90s babies, there wasn't anything like Delta and Edo. It was one Bender State, and then we had NCA and Bender Broadcasting Service. And if you recall, television would start at about that 4 or 5 p.m. every day. It starts with that noise, and then what we didn't know the name it was called as the color bars. And then and we used to have a black and white TV, so I would wait for that moment every single day. And I've always been fascinated at how people appeared on TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'll do stuff like pushing the TV to the side, backwards, frontwards, just to get a sense into how people appear.
On TV.
One time, my mom just could not take this high level of curiosity, and as a matter of fact, as a kid, I would take my exercise book, and sketch all kinds of stuff. Literally, as a small kid, telling stories through diagram. Like I would draw a car. Yeah. You see the car pull over into something and pull over into another. Oh. So box, what we now call a storyboard. Yeah. Without being told as a little boy, I used to do that, right? And my mom knew that, this kid, has got something
in there,
just coining visuals together. And she exposed me to church.
Wow.
So church was the first place I ever saw what is called a camera. Wow. And that's Press Center, CGM Press Center of Jakwa Road. That's where the whole thing started from. A guy called Julius Ido was the first person that put a camera in my hand. And I was like, wait, so now this thing, now they point like this, now they see all this, and now they show for TV.
Wow.
Because I used to think that people appeared through the satellite, not the satellite, what do you call that thing? The antennas, yes.
That long one we used to have with the
they tell you, I used to think, it don't show, it never show. Don't pull like this, Now, I used to think people appeared through that, and then they just, crawl through the cables and then get into TV. But when I saw a camera, boom. Now, when that happened, I decided to just devote my time and journey to the TV department in church. So I worked as a camera assistant.
Uh-huh.
Now, for 2 years plus, I was just folding cables for camera 2. Now, they would say to me, oh, no, you can handle camera now. And I'd be like, nah. I just enjoy the fact that I'm supporting the guy who's actually calling the shots, right? And little did I know at that time that I was literally preparing myself for what I would call, the proper act of service, right? Which, of course, I think that's where we're going to climax this conversation, because whatever that we are today whatever we are today did not come from a place that says we wanted to be superstars or we wanted to lead people, we wanted to be known to create these big contents. No, we wanted to serve. We wanted to create things that would bring meaning to people. So that was the foundation. And then at the time, I had done that, did the whole camera operation thing in church, and then I was a drummer as well.
Oh, interesting.
I was like one of the best drummers in, or if not the best. Well, Word of Life Nelson used to give me a run for the money.
I know Nelson, tight guy.
Nelson used to give me a run for the money, and Nelson had those many things around him.
Tight guy.
But I would do cameras. No, I would do praise and worship in the morning.
Yeah.
Do choir administration, and then run to camera. I'll do camera 2 was my specialty because I was this badass kid, man. I'll do camera 2, and then towards the end, I'll run back to drums when they start doing altar calls and da-da-da. And that was my life every day. And guess what? Once service ends, you know what I do? I run back to camera 2. I strike my camera myself. I take it from whoever, is holding it for me. I strike the camera, I fold my cables neatly, and then go back to the altar and then strike my drums, cover what's left, and go home.
Wow.
This was my life. So the discipline, came from there. Now, at the time, I just knew that I was doing the same thing over and over and over again. I needed more.
Yeah.
And that more wasn't within the environment. And I was watching TV, and then I'll see these images of Lagos, South Africa, Kenya, and things. And I just wanted to do those things, right? And I realized that the environment just did not provide that sort of opportunity. Yeah. My intention wasn't to relocate or to leave Warri or, I just wanted to go study so I can come back and bring that. I just didn't know life was preparing me for a whole new level of leadership, right?
That's interesting.
So I made a move to Lagos. It's a long story, but I made a move to Lagos, and then the first opportunity I got was with an advertising agency. Now, mind you, before I left, there was a TV show I loved so much, and that TV show was called uh, Love Venture.
Okay.
So it was a dating game show sponsored by Bacchus Tonic Wine. Then, right, you know, and I'll see these couples, they'll do the thing and then they win and then they go out on these dates, right? I loved how it was produced and I wanted to experience that sort of production.
Yeah.
I sincerely thought, Wale, that thing was done in like Kenya or South Africa. I thought it was Kenya. So the very first opportunity I got, the church I went to, you know, someone said, "Oh, there's this new kid from Warri who's very good," and then they gave me a camera, and it was, whoa. And then this guy walked up to me, a guy called Maiwa Luyeba, and he said to me, "Oh, that was a fantastic camera work." As a matter of fact, in that service in Lagos, my very first Sunday in Lagos, that church, that was the first time that you will be filming, and then everybody in the service could actually see the screens and things. So, if you see the way they operate the camera, he would make me, I didn't lose style, you know, because everybody could tell that it's coming from that guy. So when I move the camera to people's faces, I'll wait, I go bend the camera. So they'll be looking at it, like, okay, why am I bending? I was like, oh, the kid, you know, that kind of thing. So the guy walked up to me and said, "That was good camera work. Do you need a job?" I was like, "What?" Just like that? No, like, first of all, is this considered a job? I thought this was just passion. So people make money with this thing in Lagos. This is a job in Lagos, you know? So I was like, I really don't know what to answer you right now. And he was like, you know what? Think about it. Here's my card. Now, the week I went to this, I found the address, went to this office, and he wasn't around. So he asked someone to just have me wait for him in this thing. Now, that was the first time I entered a proper editing suite.
I can
First
imagine.
time in my life. Dark room, monitors, screens, computers, and stuff. So I sat there, I was like, oh. And then this guy walked in, I said, "Oh, are you the guy looking for Mr. Mayo?" I said, "Yes." He just called, said he's on his way. Yes, okay. And then this guy just moved over to the table to pick up something, and then his hands hit the mouse. And then the screens just came on. And then like this blue light, and I was looking at this editing suite like, man, I don't only go, you know. And guess what I saw on the screen? The same dating game show that I've been seeing in Warri that I said, one day, maybe go just one. I could just be there, it was that same place. Number what? I've gotten the number now. Abisobule beside Excellence Hotel, Oba. Oba, yeah. Wow. Bro. Like, I froze. And then I asked the guy, I was like, "Please, why did they do this thing?" You know, because then I spoke in pure Warri Pidgin. You know, that Lagos, maybe, you know, I did the same market. You know, so I was like, "I've been over, so now did they do this thing?" The guy was laughing. I was like, "Yeah." I said, "Bros, I know they joke. Now they do this thing." The guy said, "I say, Father, now I die. I die here." And that's how I launched my career into Lagos. I worked in this agency. It wasn't an advertising agency, but they had a production arm called AV.com. Trax Advertising had AV.com. So I was the camera assistant. My job, all I did for about 2 years plus, again, was to load trucks, clean cameras, charge batteries, buy food. You know, I was the go-to guy for everything. While it will shock you, the first few months I worked there, I didn't know I had a salary. One day they sent someone from the finance department and the guy said, "Come, are you the new boy that came that they employed?" I was like, "Yeah. How come you've not come to collect your salary? There was a name, they called it, you know." So I was like, "Huh?" So this thing what they love, they give me money, you know. And so my journey just picked up from there, and you know, worked there for years. Moved from camera assistants, you know, to camera operator, to director of photography, and then I moved to production executive, you know, in the camera department. And we moved to the point where they just started giving us content to produce ourselves as well. And then from there, I moved to becoming a freelancer, and then started building, and then created mine. So it got to a point where I just said, you know what, I can't be doing this. You know, I can't be doing this, you know. And one thing about me is I'm this kind of guy, I always tell myself that there's more. You know, so I got into this point. What's next? So I'm always hungry. Like if you check my Instagram story today, at some point I was tired. I was hungry for food. You know,
Yeah.
and then I just felt that whole, you know, exhaustion just coming. And then something said to me, you know what? I mean, I'm the producer director of the thing, and then this isn't like a content. I'm consulting on a project.
Yeah.
And then, you know, somebody just said to me, you know, you can actually just say, you know what, guys, it's a wrap. We'll continue tomorrow. And this was around what, 12 or so.
Terrible.
But I said, no, dude, man.
There's more to it.
There's more to this thing. You'll finish, right? And I mean, I just remember that. So I'm this kind of guy who says there's more to everything. So at the point, I knew that I needed to do more. Being a freelance camera guy, shooting the same thing every day and blah, 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 you know, I was like, okay, wait, what's the next level? Now that brings me to my passion, my life. I believe so much that a lot of what we find very exciting today that we do, the things that we enjoy, sometimes we can't explain it. You know, even when you're hungry, no food, you just got a heartbreak, you still show up at the studio tomorrow. You know, some people run to church, some people go and jump into a lagoon, but you still come back to the studio, you know. Even when you don't have money, you rather trek. Let me just make it to the studio and just, you know, even if I don't do anything, I just want to go there. Now, some of the passion we have for certain things that we do not have explanations for, I do believe that we were all predestined to contribute to humanity through certain things. Now, the creative industry is something, I'm going to go a little deep now. The creative industry is a powerful earthly force. It's a universal force.
Yeah.
Because if you look at how the universe was created, how it evolves every day, it entails a high level of creativity, meaning one of the creator's prominent ability is the art of creativity.
It's true.
Look at the way we navigate. The way I'm seated on this chair right now involves a high level of creativity.
Exactly.
My legs are crossed and comfortable, right? The way we work, the way we eat, the way we dress, you know, there's some level of creativity. What it tells you is every human being alive is creative.
True.
Now, some of us are given the responsibility to foster and inspire people with our creative process to even live more and live better with their lives. So, and we do these things through painting, through photography, through video production, through news, through fashion, through all kinds of art, right? Yeah. Now, I've always believed that there was a strong force that pulled me in the direction of telling the African story from place of strength. Because when I started, I mean, I'll see TV and then you know, I'll watch television and then you see Kwashoko children. Like, whenever they want to talk about Africa,
that's really crazy. Stuff.
And then I would ask myself that, wait, I don't get Kwashoko now. Even as they also suffer from all these things, you know. So I knew that I was a major part of telling the African story to inspire us and to inspire other people. And then I sat down one day and said to myself, you know what? This is something that I am passionate about. This is my life. And when I got to Lagos and I started the whole process, I realized that even when I became a freelancer, they're not giving me opportunity. I will go to people, I still talk this thing, my first email address, yahoo.com. Yeah. I sent an email to Dangote, thinking, you know, it was info at Dangote or something at Dangote, and I thought, oh, it was this guy everybody you know, talked about. And I said, look, let me just send this guy an email so I can be producing stuff for you guys now. You know, I never got a reply, you know, but I've always just said to myself that there's a strong connection to telling stories that inspires people, that shapes the narrative. And because people didn't give me that much opportunity when I started as a freelancer, you know what I said to myself? I said, okay, I was going to create a platform, you know, where other people who are passionate about this is their life and this is their passion. I would use my experience to inspire them. And that's how, when it was time to register a name or something, that's the only thing I could think about. Wow, my passion, my life.
Interesting story. So telling the inspiring story of Africa from a place of strength.
Yes.
I think that is really what you have emphasized from the process to become, to start off my passion, my life. So now, for a photographer or for a cinematographer, a scriptwriter that wants to develop a project. We know you've done several projects from your journey, your experience. I've already said that you've done several projects, and you're still going to do more projects. What are the key things that people should look at? Because we know projects are forms or ways to develop stories so that people will be able to follow through, learn from it, gain from it. So what do you think a creative, a photographer, a cinematographer should be thinking about when creating projects?
So I work as a content producer and also a strategic event producer. And I also do a lot of trainings as well. And that whole experience at the moment, if there's one thing I have come to understand with managing these different abilities, whether it's business or personal projects, you need to know, you must understand that your legacy is imprinted in everything that you do, right? What does that mean? It simply means that you have a lot of people who invest so much in doing commercial work, which is not bad.
Yeah.
You need business, you need money to keep things going, you need to upgrade your equipment, you need to pay your overheads, you need to feed your family, you need to live a good life, right? It's very important. But you must understand that when all of this is said and done, many years from now, you will not be remembered for the business you did. You will be remembered for the projects you created that brought about a high level of impact, right? Good. So, whenever I get the opportunity to work on a project, the first thing I ask myself is this: do I feel connected to the result of this project, right? Now, if I answer myself, yes, I feel connected, in line with what I believe that the reason why God has created me in such a time like this, the reason why I'm existing, the reason why I feel this amount of skill and talent, right? Once I feel a sense of connection, the next thing I also want to talk about is how much can I bring to these projects, right? If I do not feel a sense of connection and the money is good or I need the resources and things, I then know that there is some level of attachment I can bring to this project. Yeah. I also understand that, look, certain projects you cannot own it, but you can negotiate your IP into it, which then goes back to become your legacy, your property. So what I would say to anybody who's starting out, one of the key things you must always put in front of you is, for every project you get, all right, what is the imprint? What is the legacy you want to leave with that project? And that brings me to a philosophy that I live with every single time, that I am as good as my last job. I do not rest on yesterday's glory. Yeah. It's what I did today, you know, that I know I will be judged by. It's not a case of, oh, I did something fantastic 2 years ago and then this one is. So at every point in time, I'm always looking for opportunities to learn. Once you can understand this as an entrepreneur or as a content producer or whatever it is that you find yourself doing, once you understand this concept, you will then get to know that, look, we are more than just creating good visuals. We are meant to create some level of impact. We're meant to change narrative for good. We're meant to inspire people with our process, with our journey, not just the content.
Find that. Thanks for that. Because now you've brought out salient things that every person trying to create a story, create a content, or make a project should think about.
Absolutely.
One thing that resonates now is, does that project connect to you? Is there a connection of that project you want to get yourself involved in? Is there a connection to what legacy are you leaving? What will be your end game? What are you going to? What is the positive or what is the negative, or what is that thing that you want to achieve from the story?
Absolutely.
And I think that's very key for anybody trying to start up a story, create a project, go into a storytelling project or whatever it is. And I think that's very important. Now, specifically to a project you made a while ago, I really find it interesting. I'm going to play a little bit of it in between here. I really like the involvement. It's married for 56 years project. That is a very, very interesting project at a time like this. So let's just take a look at that a little bit and see what it's from your rich city of your rich. Yeah. I like this idea. You really love Lady
Yeah. And they were all continuous.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's project. This project is really, really interesting for me.
Yeah.
Seeing two young people in the mind, the old people in the body, and you're able to bring out the friends. When I showed my partner this business, and he said, you could see that there's still love. These guys are friends.
Sure.
So how did you get involved in that project? I know sourcing for this kind of people might not be easy, but how did you go about it?
You know, it's interesting. Most people think this is like a series or something, but I'll tell you a quick story about it. So because I produce events, and like I said earlier, every project I get, I always want to ask myself, what sort of impact can I bring to the project? One of the characteristics of all my projects is there's some sort of experience.
Yeah.
Now that experience starts from the process we go through in creating it.
Yeah.
You know, even with my team, I also want to create an experience for them. So every project we have is an opportunity to share knowledge, learn something, you know, and whatnot. So when I work on projects as well, while I'm designing, you know, all stage, lights, you know, I'm putting all these elements together from all the vendors that we work with, I also say to myself, what do I want people to walk away with? You know, they attend the events, you know, you have all this array of A-list artists. These same artists will perform same song tomorrow in another show. Yeah, true. And these same people will attend the same thing, right? But I always want to think about, so when you think about, oh, the band was here, this person was here, this person was here, but there was that thing. Yeah. You know, so sometimes it's from the walkway experience to, but this particular event I was producing Worry Again, one of the editions during the Valentine season. And I kept saying to myself that, wait, I want to bless people with something, you know, like, so, you know, I just kept thinking about it. And my executive producer, Amaju Melvin Pinnick, you know, said, you know, he's fond of doing it. He'll say, hey, come. So what ideas do you have? You know, and I'm like, you know, you are the ideas master. Yeah. So, and then he'll go like, oh, I want to see. So my executive producer then, person of Amaju Melvin Pinnick, great guy, he's fond of doing this thing. So every edition, he would say, when we have our pre-production meetings, he would go like, so what ideas do you have? And I'll be like, you know what, boss, you know, you're the king of ideas. And then he will say, okay, you know what, I want to see this, I want to see this, I want to see that. I want people to feel this, I want people to feel that. And it's my job sometimes to actually go and interpret this. Sometimes he'll put his great ideas on the table and then we'll find ways to work with it. But on this one, I realized that Worry Again is, I consider that to be the biggest event, you know, on this side of the planet, right? And the quality, Worry Again is the only show that 95% of the audience now VVIP. You get, you know, like normal shows you have like 30-40% VVIP, and then you have Worry Again 90-95% VVIP, like from front row all the way to the back VVIP. And most of the age gap you'll find amongst that crowd are between the ages of, you know, 38, 40 and above, right? So I said to myself, what can I give to these people that would make them walk out of that place with some level of reassurance? And then it was Valentine. So one day it just hit me. I just said, wait, guys, I need a couple that has been married for more than 45, 50 years. And then, you know, I spoke to a friend of mine, Emmanuel. Emmanuel? forgotten his name now. You know, I spoke to a friend of mine, and then he said, "Oh, you know what? Let's check around. Let's check around. Let's check around." And then he went around asking people. I spoke to a couple of other people as well. And then he came back to me and said, "Oh, there's this friend of his. We can speak to their parents." And I said, "Okay, great." And then I walked in. Boom! This guy showed up.
Wow.
Right now, here is the thing that I want people to take out of this. When, as a creative, right, if you wake up every day reminding yourself of the need to stay connected to purpose, your divine calling, why is it that I'm passionate about this? If you wake up every day with that sense, with that feeling, right, it's spiritual, it's a vibe. It's like water. It will just carry you in that direction.
Wow.
I do not have a better way to explain this.
Yeah, understand.
So that's why when you fight creative thinking, you will always meet a stumbling block. But when you open up yourself to creative process, it comes to you effortlessly because you're born to do it.